Hey folks, how you doing? I'm Alex, and here I am in Bermuda, beautiful Bermuda. Now you may be wondering, where am I in Bermuda? Doesn't look like a beach, does it? No, actually a graveyard. And you might be saying, a graveyard? Okay, Alex, I know Bermuda's got a lot of beautiful scenes, but why would you bring us to a graveyard? You see, because today I want to talk to you guys about a subject matter. And because I want to do that, I brought you here. Now, what's the subject matter that requires me to bring you to a graveyard? The subject matter I want to talk to you about is keeping it real. Being who you are, keep it real. Now, you see, here, right in this place, is where my grandfather worked. Uncles, at least a generation or so, of my family worked here. We dig most of these graves. These graves were dug by us. Some by my uncles. Some of my family is buried here. I mean, my grandfather's buried up there. But, I could see some tools over there, and that brings back memories. Because, hey, growing up as a young man, my grandfather was one of those people who influenced my life. And, as I've said, we want to keep it real. So, we want to see what influences came into our lives, to make us the people who we are, Now, I've got a story for you today, and it's about this young man named John. Let's call him John. Now, John was a farmer, a farm boy, humble into his, but he grew up a farmer. And his father showed him the trade of farming, how to select vegetables, how to take them to the market, how to give the best products to the, everything that had to do with farming, he taught him. He showed him, how farming made money, because that's what parents should do. Teach their children their trade. So John, he kind of learned it. He was pretty good at it. He understood what his father, but he had this dream of going to the big city. He wanted to go to the big city and work in one of those glass buildings, those ones that you see in the TV shows, work in one of them places. So that was what he wanted. That was his little dream. So as John grew up, he was like, okay, I'm closer to the point. I got some money saved up. I'm ready. I'm ready to make my move, and I'm ready to go to the city. So off to the city he went, But he quickly found out that, hey, things in the city are pretty expensive, So he got himself a little humble room where he could stay. He then realized that people looked at him different, because he was dressed different. And he talked different. So, hey, he said, man, I got to change who I am, because I got to change different. So he grabbed some of his savings. He bought clothes so he could match the people around him. He started practicing in the mirror. Let me put that angle. So he could talk more like they were talking. He didn't want to be confused for no country bumpkin. So he practiced. He practiced to change himself, to become more like them. But he was still out of a job, and money was running out. So off he went, looking for jobs, and and looking the part, Then finally an opportunity came, and it was for office clerk, and basic duties, nothing out of this world. So he went, applied for the job position. The lady brought him in, showed him what it was, and told him, hey, no problem. And he said, yep, I'll do the job. I'm glad to do it, And what would happen was, an interesting thing happened. When the lady said, okay, I'll give you the job, all I need to know is your email address. John said, well, I got to be honest with you. I don't have an email address. I grew up in a farm, and of course the lady said, oh, those country people, they don't know nothing about computers. He more than likely lied, but he did, he did take some computers in high school and all of that. But she just built this thing in her mind and said, no, I don't think you and I are going to work out, John. You know, this job is not really for you, you know. So I'll let you go. I mean, you don't even have an email address. Come on, everybody has an email address. So they let him go. He said, you know, let John go. Now John is like, oh my gosh. Now I'm really getting worried because I'm behind on my rent. I'm behind on everything that I'm doing. And now I just lost a job opportunity because I'm a country bumpkin, basically. You know, they just don't. And he was starting to realize things were a bit tougher than he thought. So he's basically kicking the can, you know, looking down. Oh gosh, things are getting difficult for him. You know, you're like, oh man, I don't know. If I don't get something to do, I'm in trouble. I'm in real deep trouble. So he saw an old guy. Okay, so this old guy, and he was struggling to take in these boxes off his truck. And he went to him, hey, let me help you out, sir. And he started off loading the box, right? And the old guy was telling him, hey, you know, I run a little produce shop, you know, kind of struggling with it, you know, I'm getting up in age, you know, and I really would like to retire. That's what I would like to do. So John helped him out, and he saw his vegetables, and he had all this kind of stuff. But John really knew his vegetables. He really knew his stuff. His roots started coming through, so to speak. So he told the old man, look, let me help you. I'm really almost out of a place now because I can't even pay my rent. So the old guy said, look, there's a room in the back. You can have it. You know, hook it up. It's nothing major. And, you know, just help me around. I mean, I'll make sure you get food. You get something to eat, at least. And John just jumped on it. He said, okay, cool. I mean, man, at least I get to live for another day. Now, he started fixing up the shop. He started putting it up, you know. Everything that his fathers taught him started coming back to him, you know. And the shop started to take progress, started to move on. Now, the old guy was saying, you know what, John, why don't you just take over? Just send me a little something so that I could live the rest of my years. But the shop is basically yours. I mean, I'm too old for this now, and you definitely seem to know what you're doing. John said, thank you, sir. I'll make sure that you are set up for life. Whatever I make, you make. You know, he was so grateful for that opportunity. So he even gave him the old truck, you know. So John set up the old truck, cleaned it up, put the logo on it, bam. Started taking the vegetables to the neighborhoods and really making the business grow. Really making the business grow. Knowing where to get the best vegetables, he knew that. He'd been to trade shows. His father showed him all of that. He really went back and started doing all of this. All I know that he started growing, then eventually he got married. He had a family and all of this. So, you know, one day he decided, look, it's time for me to get some life insurance. I got a family, my business is huge. It's time for me to get some insurance. So he went to the broker. And the broker said, oh, okay, no problem. You're a successful businessman. You've got multiple businesses, trucks. You're one of the biggest produce providers right now. So the guy said, okay, yeah. He said, all right, let's set up the form. And he did that. And he asked John, what's your email address? And John told him, I don't have one. I don't have one. And he said, man, what you would have been if you would have had an email address. And he said, I know what I would have been if I would have had an email address. I would have been an office clerk. So, why? Do you enjoy that story? I hope you did. And you understand what you are. This is why I brought you here. Because when I'm going to talk about who you are, I want you see where I came from. You know what I mean? There's some places, let me see if I can see some places here. People are taking shortcuts there. But there's some graves that I can remember that I worked on many summers ago, you know, with my grandfather. You know, whenever he got a contract, they would let him build the graves. And this is my roots. This is where I spent my summers. Believe it or not, some of you guys may be wondering, boy, that wasn't exciting. But yeah, it bonded us. My uncles were here as well. And And it's very important that as we do our internet marketing, that we know where we come from and who we are. Because one of the things is, a lot of us are learning mechanics. Now, let's make sure you're on the right railroad track. So some of you say, man, if I only knew if I am on the right track. Now, the right track is quite simple. If you can answer these questions and you're doing them, you're on the right track. So now, these are 5 things you should be doing on a regular basis. You know, you should be touching upon them on a regular basis. 1, okay, is your email marketing. Are you emailing? Now, some of you may say, man, I'm brand new, I don't even have a list. Start emailing immediately, at least twice a day. Start off with 2 times a day. Whether you send them to a ghost or you build a small list of 3 to 10 people, it don't matter. Your habit of success starts with emailing and developing that copywriting skills, developing your voice within. The second habit of success that you got to be doing regularly is social media. Of course, we're talking about doing Facebook. You know, in the beginning, really, it's Facebook. You know, you got to master Facebook, you know. Can't get around Facebook. Facebook is the one you got to do, you know. Learn the techniques, learn the things, start developing your Facebook. The third habit that you must develop is blogging. At least 3 times a week, guys. Blogging is another very important part of it. And of course, videos. Videos are important. It's all of these things combined together. But there's one more element that you must do, and a lot of people ignore, and that's your mindset developing. Keep your reading, keep your audiobooks, keep things that develop that mind of attraction of wealth, of attraction of happiness, attraction that will make your future more guaranteed. Remember, Napoleon Hill's, the John Maxwell's, all of these things will help you progress forward. Now, if you're doing all these 5 things, but you're still grinding it and you know it's not really moving forward, what you need, the grease that grinds these gears forward, what makes these gears move, what makes these gears function, you know, what the grease or the fuel that drives the car, so to speak, that grease or that fuel is your inner voice. That's you. That's you. And being you, you know, too many people out there are just wannabes. They're just wannabes. They want to be whoever else they are, but accept themselves. You know, when John realized that he had to be himself and he started doing the vegetable things and started doing the things that was in him, he discovered that that was a lot better than what not being himself, you know, trying to get rid of those country bumpkin roots. Why would you want to do that? So don't be someone else. Because you see, once you discover the voice within, and that's the important part, discovering the voice within, then you will start seeing that your emails get much more powerful. Oh yeah, you know, you start seeing these emails going out and you're just talking about what you feel inside, and the you is starting to come out. And then your Facebook, you start attaching to people much more. Your blogging, off the charts, your videos, all of these things starts to take real meaning. And then when you start building your mindset, wow, you become an incredible, unstoppable human being. You just become one of these incredible persons. So, you know, guys, I want to finish off with one of the best books that I ever heard. I mean, by one of the greatest marketeers of all time. I call him Dr. Seuss. And it basically it goes like this. Be who you are. Say what you feel. Because those who mind what you say don't matter. And those that matter don't mind. So keep up the hard work. Keep at it. And join us. Come over to the academy. We'll help you advance your marketing or whatever. Hey, see you on the other side. Bye. Hi, and thank you for watching that video from the Digital Marketing Academy. We created these short video series. We call them the SOS series, marketing series. But we want to help you further. We want to take your marketing to the next level. So click the link down below and it will take you straight to the Academy where you will get an in-depth training, 5-video training, totally free, no commitments. So I'll see you on the other side. Bye.